Alright guys, welcome to another raid video. And today we're going to do a champion guide on Astralon, who was the kind of partner champion to Countess Lix, a champion guide we did a few days ago now. She was actually the champion that they were not giving out, but giving out for free. You had to spend like 150 ancients to get her, so this guy was actually the fusion. Now I forget if he was a fragment or I think he was an actual fusion if I remember correct. Beforehand, so a lot of people will have these two champions as a couple, whereas someone like Siphi and Rotos, pretty difficult to get because you've got to pull Siphi, but there's been an option to get both of these guys, so this will be a partnership a lot of people have, so I think this will be a relevant video, and they're actually really good, a lot better than I thought they were when I first saw them. Just before I start the video, I'm just going to quickly highlight this thing here. It's champion tags, and this is a new thing that just came in, and I have to admit it's really helpful. If you get to endgame and you have like a bunch of champions, like take for example, I've got two Duchess here, I've got my speed Duchess there, and I've got my tanky Duchess here, so I've got speed boots on her, and I've got a medic symbol on this one, so it just makes it easier when you're coming to choose them, say at like plat reset or something, because before all you had to do was like hold the cursor down on the champion and then look at their stats, try and figure out. It was a bit of a pain, to be honest. So, or people would leave some in their vault and that would kind of show which one's which. So that's made life a lot easier. You could also, if you have an immunity version of any champion, you could easily just go in and change it to whatever you want on this. Build 1, 2, 3, favorite, none. Really cool addition to the game. But anyway, I'm back on Duchess. Let's get back to Astralon. So yeah, Astralon, super cool, very cool skin. Yeah, him and Countess Lix are both super cool, but I'll go over the skills first. So he's got an A1 here, attacks twice, 30%, which is 50% when booked, of decreased defense. Countess Lix teams up, which is really cool because she does decrease the... No, she does weaken, sorry. So they do decrease defense and weaken on their A1, a single target, but it's still pretty strong, and you'll get that double hit attack on both of them, so you get 4 hits off it if you attack with him. You don't have to run him with Countess Lix, but he's infinitely better if you do. I'll explain that in a minute. His A2 hits pretty damn hard. He attacks one enemy, ignores defense, strengthen, and ally protection buffs. Sorry, ignores increased defense. Doesn't ignore defense at all, actually, so that's not true. But the increased defense buff, strengthen, and ally protection. So, you know, if you're fighting like an enemy Krisk, someone like a Lydia, anyone like that puts out these big ally protections and strengthens and increased defense, then this will just straight up ignore all of that, which is pretty cool. Because a lot of champions have gone down the route of just ignore defense, so this is quite cool, something a little bit different here. It also has a similar ability here to Altan, where he revives a random ally with 40% HP, puts a shield on them equal to 20% of their max HP if it kills an enemy. So you will most likely kill people with this. So he's got a pseudo revive in his kit as well. Places a shield buff on this champion as well if it kills an enemy, so good bit of utility there. Then he's got this awesome A3. So the first bit reads a bit funny. It removes all buffs from targets under Veil or Perfect Veil, then puts 25% weaken on them, then attacks all enemies. So this is actually a lot better than I thought it was. I kind of thought it'd just be situational, but you know, the fact that the second part of it here, sorry, says also has a 100% chance of placing stun on enemies for 1 turn. It's 100% stun AoE if you have the accuracy. And this stuff here actually is quite a bonus, because a lot of the time there's like Candrafon is an absolute nightmare to try and target just now. So it just removes that Veil from him, puts weaken on him, removes Veil from, well, it can remove Veil from Duchess, but Duchess, especially in Arena, tends to be very high resistance, so it's pretty difficult to remove it without having insane accuracy on him. So I don't tend to think about taking Duchess off, but if Duchess has put Veil on any of the damage dealers, that's really what Veil's for, because you're wanting to cover those weaker champions. This guy's awesome at taking that away, and he stuns everyone. It's actually really strong. And then lastly, he's got this passive, fills his champion's turn meter by 3% every time an ally is hit, decreases incoming damage by 25% if this attacker's attack is lower than this champion's. So as long as you build him with decent attack, he's going to receive a bunch less damage. The only issue with this one is because he's much more of a utility champion, he's probably not going to have as much attack as someone like a Trunda, so the big damage dealers are still going to do a ton of damage to him unless you build this guy for pure damage, which you definitely could do, but I do genuinely feel building him that way, it only benefits this part of the skill, but you lose out on this amazing skill kit that he actually has. So I personally wouldn't build him with a ton of attack, and I'll go into that in a second. Before I move on though, increasing the turn meter by 3% is actually pretty strong because it does get affected by multi-hits. So if ally gets hit 3 times, it actually gives him a 9% increase, which is pretty strong. Now, the last bit of his kit, it isn't actually on him that's worth noting, it's actually on Countess Lix. So if you do run the two together, she has this passive here, removes a random debuff from Astralon and her at the start of each turn, only available if Astralon is on the team. So really, for this guy, to maximise the use of him, I would always run these two together. Countess Lix is a bit different because I run her on her own without Astralon, and she does fine because her kit's really good utility. But Astralon, I genuinely think that the two of them together is the way to go forward, because between the two of them, there's so much crowd control, it's ridiculous. Between this, being able to pseudo revive people, being able to AoE stun 100% of the time, you've got A1s that put down decreased defense and weaken to take down bigger targets. A couple of cool passives between them that does a bunch of stuff. So yeah, they're actually really strong together. To get his kit, so I haven't put the best gear on this guy because I'm not using him like high-end arena or anything yet. Although I have seen people doing it, and he's definitely useful there. I've only put him in kind of mediocre gear. So he's running at about 378 accuracy, 245 crit damage with 90% crit rate, 220 speed, 4.4k attack, 37k health, and very low defense, unfortunately. It's the one place I've neglected in the Great Hall is the magic affinity. I've maxed out most of the other ones, but I don't use magic champions a lot because I don't have Trunda yet. So I've not concentrated on it, so I don't have a good Great Hall for that yet, but I will work on it. So the thought behind these stats really here is ideally I'd like to get him higher because his base attack's actually huge. It's 1.6k attack, so you could definitely get him to a high enough attack that no one else is going to have as high attack as him, so he'll get 25% less damage. But like I said before, accuracy is really important in this guy. I don't think there's much point in building them just like a Madame. So I could build them with like 700-800 accuracy, but that's only going to affect like a small substrata of champions in the game, especially in the arena. The main people I'm wanting to stun is the damage dealer anyway, and 378 accuracy will more than enough do that. To be honest, 250 would, but I feel 378, 400-ish is what I was going for, should cover me for, the vast majority of champions up to the really high resist people like the Duchesses, the Crisks, thing like that. So this is a pretty strong ability for Arena now. Like I say, he does do some pretty good damage, so I have put a lot of effort into getting crit rate and crit damage out of this gear, some attack as well, and you want him pretty fast. You want him to just follow Countess Lix because she puts on a bunch of good debuffs, and then to follow on after her. So 220 speed, could be a little faster, but like I say, it's not the best gear I'm using on him. But it's not bad gear by any stretch of the means, so we've got 1 piece accuracy, 1 piece perception, and 1 piece immortal here actually. So the perception gear is just like an upgrade to accuracy. It's just that I had some half decent accuracy gear that I stuck on, so it's like speed, crit rate, accuracy. He's one of these champions that is a little bit difficult to gear because you're looking for so many things. You're potentially looking for him to survive pretty well because he's CC, but he also needs good attack, he needs decent speed, needs crit rate and crit damage if you want to do damage. He effectively needs everything bar resistance, and you could build him in resistance if you want, but with him being a debuffer I probably wouldn't go down that route. So attack chest, crit rate, crit damage, you're just wanting good overall stats. Like I've said before, if you can use the Hell Hades Optimizer, it's free now anyway, you might as well. It's a really good piece of kit for just getting on and trying to maximise what gear should go on to get those numbers. You might end up with broken sets, that's fine. Speed boots obviously, and then you're wanting accuracy banner, crit damage amulet, and your choice of attack. Well, you would ideally want an attack with attack percentage on the ring as well, just to make him do a bit more damage. But like I said before, there is the possibility with this to just completely ignore everything I've said here and just stick full damage on him, go with Savage gear, Cruel probably as a secondary, try and get him roughly the same speed forget about his accuracy and everything else and just get 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as he can with about sort of 6.5k attack, and he will be a beast. I would say you're probably missing a trick though, because in my testing he doesn't actually do as well as someone like a Trunda, as an Ethos. So he's a little subpar compared to them in damage. So I don't think there's, unless he's your only choice. If he is your only choice as an AoE damage dealer, perhaps that is the best build for you. Just build him out, and then you've got that added bonus of getting debuffs removed from him anyway, so he's pretty good that way, because that still will happen. But if you do have any of the big guys like Ethos, Candrafon, Trunda, any of them, I would probably just use them as your AoE damage dealer and just use this guy in like a CC team with Countess Licks, and you'll get a lot more use out of him. You can get a lot of use out of him in PvE content that way anyway. PvP as well, there are some pretty cool teams out there using him and Countess Licks at the moment. So onto Masteries. So the way I've got him built is just damage and accuracy down the support tree here. So Ruthless Ambush, see, can't really move my thing out of the way. Yep, these two here. Helm Smasher, again, whoosh, you can just see it. Helm Smasher is a must if you're wanting to deal some damage. And so this guy's a kind of, like I say, a pseudo cross build type thing. He's doing damage, but he's debuffing at the same time. So he's a jack of all trades. Gone down the support tree here and into Spirit Haste as well. Want Lore of Steel to get some more stats, but yeah, I've really just looked for the extra damage here. Ruthless Ambush especially. I'm using him alongside Kymar a lot of the time, so Opportunist is good because it's a 12% increase this, which is massive. And you've also got to remember that he lands the stun 100% of the time himself anyway, so he's going to be dealing 12% extra damage, not on that AoE, but all his abilities afterwards will do that, so that's another huge increase. Masteries are a massive increase to damage. So yeah, that's him. His reviews are all pretty good. I mean, he's a solid champ. Let's just take him into, as usual, Arena, and we'll have a little blast with him, see how he does. I would say he's very good in other situations, though. Him and Countess Licks could really grind you through some really tough content if you can't get through there. Even him on his own, because he's stunning 100% of the time. And especially if you're a lot faster, you're getting like a 2-for-1 on the team, then you're going to be able to just keep stunning the teams over and over and over again. So Doom Tower, all these sort of things. I wouldn't say he's got a lot of uses for Clan Boss. Really, he does put down decreased defense, but he's just not worth it. I would say someone like Razen's just infinitely better because he puts the decreased defense and weaken down on that one ability. But yeah, not really used for that, but definitely for dungeon waves and for Doom Tower, things like that, he's very, very strong. So it's just after reset, so I'm actually not in Platinum just now. I can't be bothered grinding all the way up, so I will just chuck him into Gold 4 and we'll see what the score is. So we'll probably want to put in our Arbiter, and then we'll go along, we'll put in Countess Licks and Astralon, and then we'll also put in our Madame, I think, just for some more buff strips. So this is a pretty CC heavy team. There's going to be a lot of debuffs getting placed here, so it should be pretty strong. Fairly easy team to beat, but at least it showcases what he's like. So speed boost there. This is the really cool thing about Countess Licks. I've got a few options here, so I could block cooldown skills, but it's not going to hit this Madame, so I'm probably more likely to just put decreased speed on and decrease all their turn meters. Then I can strip them, and then it comes around to Astralon, who manages to do all that, apart from he doesn't kill her, but the really good thing is, if he doesn't kill them, he stuns them anyway, so it's really easy to just come around and blast them out. Yeah, I think that was a weak hit there if I'm right in thinking. So let's go down the list. We've actually got a Torment here, so this is pretty cool. So this is just to show you how good they are. Right, so in against a Torment here, so this is quite interesting because we have no immunity on, we've got no block debuffs at all. So what I want is one of them to get frozen here. So we'll boost, see, so she gets frozen, but because it comes round to her team, she unfreezes her, and she will also unfreeze the Astralon. So you don't really have to worry about Torment with this team. The only thing you have to worry about is Madame as such, because she, well, I do have an immunity Madame, so I probably should have put her in now, but Countess and Astralon alone with the Arbiter, you can easily do the increased turn meter with Arbiter, put on the buff. If either of them get frozen and it comes round to her turn, she'll just unfreeze them both. And then there's not actually a turn meter increase or a buff going on between, well, any of Countess Licks' skills, so she's going to get round to Astralon without him getting frozen again. So I could easily just do this, decrease their turn meter and speed. Obviously, Madame's going to get frozen, but I should have put my immunity Madame in. But yeah, as you can see, you come around to Astralon. He didn't get frozen this time, but if he had got frozen, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference. And I'm able to just AoE. Doesn't quite kill them, obviously does the Torment thing, but like I say, both of the problems are stunned now, which means I can freely attack them. They're not slept, they're stunned. And this should be a pretty easy one. I can block cooldown skills there just to make sure they really don't get around. That's happened after the start of her turn, so she will unfreeze herself at the start of next turn, so it's fine. And then we'll use A2 there, kill him in a 1-er. The freezes sometimes take a bit of time. As you can see, he comes back around to Lex and unfreezes. Perfect. And there we go. Oh, nearly dead. Yep, easy done. Let's just do one more team for good measure. This is a bit more of a tanky team. It's got Drago in it, it's got Razin, so it shows you how much damage can do to champions like this. Again, I'll probably just lower the turn meter to make sure Arbiter doesn't take a go. Strip them there, and then just about killed them all. Got a weak hit on Razin, so that's fine. Didn't actually stun him because it was a weak hit too, but I can block cooldown skills here. That's a weak hit as well. Bunch of weak hits. And Razin does his big slam. But yeah, you get the picture, the really strong combination, these two. So if you did pull Astralon, definitely worth building them up. Right, here he is in Doom Tower. I'm just going to bring him in. This is like, I think it's about like floor 55, 60 or something in Doom Tower on the hard mode. So it's the hard version of Doom Tower. And I'll just hit auto here, and this is my CC team. So between Tormund, Astralon, Countess Lex, I'm just going to be laying hundreds and hundreds of debuffs here, and they're not going to get much of a chance to do anything in the team. As you can see, stuns going down, block cooldown skills, we've got provokes going on. So it's not going to win any speed battles here, but it will just grind its way through. And Astralon is a big part of this because he provides not only the strongest debuff here, which is the stun, but also provides all the damage as well. So he's unbelievably good. And if they are debuffed at all, Lix is able to cure one of them off every turn, which is super, super strong. Yep, I'm doing a ton of stuff. I'm barely taking any damage. Obviously, Duchess, all these good champions help with this. But you can see the A1's hitting there too. They're able to put decreased defense and weaken down on single targets, which is actually really good in PvE content, especially against like bosses and stuff. And the fact that they're taking, you know, double hits of both champions each time. You can be triggering War Master or something if you choose to use those Masteries. But I would not recommend it. I would always go Helm Smasher with Astralon because he's just going to do a ton more damage. So you get the idea, guys. My guys are all pretty much full health. They will be by the time they get next to the round. And this just happens every single round. They'll go like this all the time, lay a bunch of debuffs. They'll be stunning people, lowering speeds, block cooldowns, really, really good. And if any of these guys do die, apart from the fact that I've got 2 resers in the team, Astralon has a pseudo-res as well, so it's a really foolproof team, this. So that's Astralon, guys. I think probably one of the best fusions for the last 6 months or so, or fragments even. I think Kreela was a really good one, but honestly, I think, was it Kreela? Kreela Witch Arm, yeah, she was a good one, but I do think Astralon's just a bit better. I think his 100% stun AoE is going to be very strong in the future, and as more people figure out good builds with him and Countess Lex, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a strong combo for the foreseeable future. And the fact that they were pretty accessible makes it a good choice as well. So yeah, that's Astralon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're just about at 2,000 subscribers, so I checked the analytics, and I think it's still like 90% of the people that watch these videos haven't hit that subscribe button, and it really helps us out. It means we're able to do more content, and we'll have more options available to us, so that would be much appreciated if you can do that. And yeah, like and subscribe, hit the bell button if you are subscribed already, just so you don't miss another video, and have a great day, guys. Peace.